Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. I hope that you all had a great weekend. And I've been somewhat avoiding posting, recording videos, and posting things just because I've really been in a space where I've been having to learn to trust God. One thing I'm learning on my healing journey is that when you've experienced like some sort of trauma, it's really trusting people can be very hard. But when you can't trust people, you can always trust God. You should always remember that. And that's something that I've been having to like drill into my heart and into my mind as of late. So I read this book that was kind of a wake-up call and also kind of a reminder to like just draw me back into a place of prayer. And it's called How to Pray for Miracles. I don't remember the author's name, but I'll be sure to tag her name. So I read the book, and I ended up, I have this app called Speechify. I was able to load it into the app for like the last 2 chapters of the book. But I began reading this book back when I did my first prayer fast of this year. And it was such a conviction to the point that I have now added a ton more sticky notes to my mirror and to the wall. When I come in the bathroom, I want it to be a reminder for me to pray and thank God and be grateful. And knowing that my word for this year is gratefulness. God told me very early this year, in fact, as I was ending my 21-day fast, that he was going to teach me to be grateful in all circumstances. So I wouldn't be driven by my emotions. And you can imagine the very thing that's been under attack has been my emotions. And just not so much second guessing myself, which has been a factor, but it's just been like God has given me the safe space to be able to cry out and vent. And another thing that God has taught me is to come to him first with everything. And I used to be one of them people that I went and got everybody's advice. I talked to everybody before I talked to God. Now, the Bible does tell us that wisdom is in a multitude of counselors. So there is nothing wrong with seeking outside counsel. However, we need to, first and foremost, make sure the places that we're seeking wisdom from are being led by the Spirit of God, and also that we can trust the Spirit of God within them. You know, the Bible does tell us to test the Spirit by the Spirit. So, you know, God will usually, how he has done it for me, is he will give me the idea or put the thought in my head, and it will be confirmed in conversation or in a reading or in a sermon. However he chooses to get that confirmation to me, he will. And so, like, it's been a huge area of attack for me this year because I've just been reflecting on things I've been praying for and believing God for years, and asking God, like, is this your will for me? Is this your desire for me? To the point, like, you know, asking God, have I made this thing an idol? Did I make this up? Is this something you desire from me? And what God has put in my head and reminded me of is, you know, even when I haven't had the faith to believe God for some things, he has put it in the heart and mind of the people around me, the people he's blessed me to do life with, and to be my friends and prayer partners. And he put those things and those desires in their heart for me, even when I didn't have the faith to believe it myself. And so part of living in a space and state of gratefulness is trusting God without a doubt, trusting God above your circumstances, trusting God above how you feel. And for me, that has been like super hard because, you know, while I do try to approach things both rationally and also from the spirit, I recognize that, you know, sometimes the Bible does tell us that our heart can sometimes deceive us. And so I've just been constantly praying and seeking out wisdom from God and revelation from people around me who've been in similar circumstances. And after I've, of course, gone and prayed and talked to God. And so I want to just share a reminder that we can trust God. It is sometimes extremely hard to do so, especially when you've experienced like a lot of trauma, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of upset, a lot of difficulties, a lot of frustration. Like if you've experienced betrayal, it's easy to think less of yourself or to let the victim mentality creep back in. And this is what I really was supposed to share. Even though God has delivered me from the victim mentality, I still have times when it wants to creep back in and it wants to like, it wants to influence my thoughts. It wants to cause me to doubt and question God and not believe God for what he's told me. It wants me to give up on those things that God has promised me. And first thing I want to say is that the victim mentality is a spirit. It's it has the ability to influence our mind and insert thoughts. It can't read our minds, much like the devil. Like it's a demonic spirit. It can't read our minds, but it can insert thoughts. Like it can cause us to think things that are not true, which is the exact total opposite of what faith is. You know, we're supposed to believe God for the things that he's promised us, even when our situation doesn't look like it. So it's a case of who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe this this mindset, this belief system that has kept you stuck and kept you living less than and lower than what God called you to do? Are you going to continue to allow anxious thoughts and lies to deceive you into thinking that you deserve the space that you're in, or that things are not going to change, that God has forgotten you? Because that's been one of the things that I've been dealing with, is feeling like God forgot me, like feeling like God promised me these things and where are they? And so I have peace right now because one of the things that I've been doing, like I said, I have the scriptures posted in my bathroom. So every time I'm in here, I'm looking at them, I'm reciting them. You may also hear a little music in the background because that's something I do. I've been doing that since my dad died, is I listen to praise and worship or whatever the topic is that I need like a little extra faith during the day as well as while I sleep. Because, you know, for me, a lot of those attacks will happen in my dreams. And so I've been doing that to counter the lies, counter the thoughts. And then flat out, you know, sometimes you just have to call it a lie, or call it out for what it is. Call it out for being a lie. Call it out for not being the truth of God's word, for being the opposite of what God says is true. So I just really, really, really want to share for anyone who's been struggling in the area of emotions, struggling in the area of doubt and of questioning God. I just want to share that God is faithful, God is worthy, and you can trust God. It can be hard, especially if you've experienced so many different things that make you feel like you can't trust anyone, but you can trust God. And even when you feel like you can't trust anybody, you can trust God, because God will send you little reminders along the way, and will send you different things to show you and to prove to you, even though he doesn't have to. But because God loves us so much, he will send us things to prove to us that he's trustworthy, to show us that we can rely on him. Like, that's been my experience. I can't speak for other people, but my experience is that God has, time and time again, when I'm in a place of questioning or feeling insecure in my faith, God has proven to me time and time again that I can trust him. Even in difficult times and difficult situations where I feel like I'm so stressed and so overburdened and so overwhelmed, God has gotten me through. The time has passed and I got through it, and I survived it. So you can trust God. And as I continue on this journey of learning to live in a state of gratefulness all the time, I am really seeing that God gives me those little reminders. And it's not breadcrumbs, but there's this book series called God Weeks. It's a God Week. It's a thing that God uses to let me know that he is thinking of me, that he hears me, that he loves me, and that he has not left me. So I just wanted to share where I am with my one word for this year, and also just let you know that, regardless of where you are in your faith journey, you can have moments and times where you are questioning and you're doubting and you're feeling like God forgot you, or like God didn't keep his promises to you. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes God has to reframe those things. Sometimes God has to prune them. Sometimes God has to check our motives, expose our motives to us, so that way we're able to really see, like, this wasn't something that God wanted for me to begin with. And so that way, whenever God gives you those things that are truly his desires for you, you'll be able to receive them with open arms, with gratefulness, and with appreciation. And in times of heaviness, God will give you something to praise about, something to be thankful for, so that way you can get through that situation. So have a great day, have a great week, and I pray that you will trust God today. I don't know what you need to trust God for. For me, is that I do well on my finals in 2 weeks. And a multitude of other things, and that I keep all the things that God has blessed me with in the air in this season. So that's it. Have a great day. Bye.